Hey everyone, Joe Glines here in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, and Jackie from Copenhagen.
Awesome, and we're enjoying the wonderful summer weather, even if it's probably like quote unquote twice as hot, which is impossible. But for me, as for you, and both of us are probably both equally hot.
Currently, we are having a very Danish summer, so no, not so much.
All right, so we were looking at this site, which is page views, and I think it's taken mostly from like Wikipedia page views over time. And we got three things plotted in it. It's pretty cool. AutoHotkey is in the blue, so you can see it was very steady here, starting back in 2015, July of 2015 is the earliest it had, and then RPA was like nothing right up through August of 2016. And then AutoIt we left in here, which is the green, which we should have flipped to make it, the AutoHotkey being green. But you notice it stayed pretty even. What's interesting is actually for AutoIt, right? It dropped a little, but it's been very consistent over time, the whole thing.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with AutoIt in general, right? I think that people they drop off at pretty much the same rate as they come in. So yeah, I think they have a lot of steady developers.
And maybe we'll talk to this, but maybe we should go back and add a couple of the RPAs because we didn't talk about robotics process automation yet. But maybe we should add like Blue Prism or Automation Anywhere and see if they're taken off, right? Because I don't care whether, you and I know we don't care, Jackie, whether it's AutoHotkey or AutoIt or whatever it is, right? We want people to have a tool to help simplify their life and do their work.
Absolutely.
It kills me to see RPA, which arguably is a name nobody likes, right? It has the wrong imagery. You think of robots when you think of the robotic process automation. And I don't think anybody necessarily cares for the term. Yet you see it skyrocketing, up in, I'm not going to call it awareness, but it's in views over time, hugely dwarfing AutoHotkey put together, right? And so why are neither of these budging when the overall technology area, like desktop automation in particular, is really taken off? I would really hope to see a corresponding gain in one of these two.
Yeah, of course, it's unsure why AutoHotkey has that bump there in the middle and the start of 2017. We don't know why that is, but there's probably a good reason for it. Something we were in the media or we changed the web page or whatever.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Do you recall when Tank switched because we had the .org for a while, right? And then we switched it back. Was that possibly around that time frame? It seems like that was maybe even a little longer than that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You know this as well as me, that time becomes a bit fuzzy. It seems as if it wasn't too long ago, but I'm pretty sure it's probably maybe back in 16, 15, something like that, where we got complete ownership of both domains. So yeah.
Yeah, we were.
I don't believe that's the reason.
Okay. Incidentally, I had sent this link to Jackie, and so because I was trying to remember where it was, and so we were pulling up emails from like 2016, and Jackie and I were like, we've been talking for a while now, doing stuff together. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, just like the actual webinars, right? With the pure amount of those actually tells quite a lot of how long we've been doing that.
And you know what's funny? I should go back and watch our original one because I if I remember correctly, somewhere in there we mentioned, we would start off saying how long we've been using AutoHotkey, and this is one of those things. It's we're off topic here, but still, it's a funny point of like, I think I said back then it was like 6 or 7 years, and I still like say that now. It doesn't in my head like it. I haven't been expanding it, even though my use of it has skyrocketed in that time frame.
Yeah, exactly. One should actually say the year one started using it instead of having. I've been using it for 4 years or 5 years.
Right.
No, I've been using it since.
Yes.
Then people can do the math if they want to. Yeah.
Right. That's a great way to think of it. What I usually try to do is to tie it to something else that happened in that time, like, oh, my son was born. Oh yeah, and he's how old? Okay, great. Something like that. But anyway.
That's a great way to actually do stuff, and I think everybody does that.
Yeah.
I know I did it with left and right. I hurt my my right leg when I was young, and that became the way for me to know which side.
Oh, interesting.
Was left. So people, I assume, do that all the time.
I'm playing with some of the other tool suppliers over on the other screen real quickly here, just to see if there's anything there while we continue talking.
Yeah. But what I thought here was that, of course, audit and AutoHotkey are very narrow terms, very specific. People are looking for something exactly when they go to those. Where I think robotic process automation is like something broad. People might not really know what they're looking for. They would like to know more about it. Where I'm not sure AutoHotkey and Audit really fits that. I'm pretty sure people will have learned about it in some other aspect or heard about it from someone, something like that. Because you'd need to have a term that AutoHotkey is found on to kind of compare those to each other. Because I've seen these type of graphs a lot with AutoHotkey and AutoEd, where people look for the trending on Google and stuff like that.
Right.
And then keep going kind of like back and forth and with terms that are finding those two domains. But I'm pretty sure that a robotic process automation is, people have another mindset when they look for that compared to an actual scripting automation language for Windows, right?
No, I think that's a valid point. Yes, they do. And it's a tiny fraction. Well, even though it is a fraction, I spot on. I agree with everything you said, Jackie. Having said that, I would think that either AutoHotkey or AutoIt would receive a similar fraction of traffic, and yet as this one took off, I would have hoped to see a little bit, even though it's going to be way down here, some sort of an increasing pattern, right? Whether it's still tiny, still a general trend, because the overall interest clearly got bigger for RPA in general, right?
Yeah, but I think some of the other more mainstream languages might have taken those, like JavaScript, Node, stuff like that, and Python, and those have probably taken, because those are way more in the public ear, whatever you would say. So when someone learns about robotic process automation, they'll probably use what they've heard about before. Not because they are doing the robotic process automation, but they're looking for, I've heard of Python. And that will then get an increase, right? Whereas AutoHotkey and AutoIt, that is so narrow to Windows, and so little have increased with the use of Windows. To get what I'm saying?
I do.
So I don't know, because I haven't looked at the numbers, but I'm not sure that Windows per use percentage has increased much, because
I don't think so.
Phones and other stuff has kind of taken those increases instead, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually,
it's kind of like,
Sorry, I talked over you. It's kind of like what?
I'm saying it's kind of like the same I'm seeing here, right? Like the red could be the process automation, could be phones and stuff like that, and the blue could be Windows and whatever. Yeah.
Well, I would still think I would think that the Windows would be a lot higher than phones. Having said that, you're right in the trend wise. The phones have taken off. It's not in comparison to Windows, but the amount of people using them has greatly gone up. And at the same time, Windows hasn't lost out to Apple or to Linux or whatever, but to some degree, there's the Windows 10, Windows 8. Still, people are Windows 7, and some people are still in XP. So it's fragmented a bit more. Although Windows 10 did, a lot of people converted over, right? Because they hated Windows 8, basically.
I think they did a good job of getting people over to Windows 10, and it was probably for the best. But yeah, in general, what I've learned over the years is that phones are ruling the internet traffic, right?
Okay.
If you look at who actually hits your site, phones will be the majority of the hits.
Not my site. I can tell you that. I've looked at it. But on average, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
On average, I'd say I can even see it on Facebook ads and stuff I run.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
Phones are just what people are on when looking at the internet in general.
What I think is interesting is tablets, like 4 years ago had a decent size, and I think it's just phones have gotten so powerful, right? And that everybody has one, and they've gotten better that people now, the tablets don't nearly have the traffic they had like 4 years ago.
No, because to me it's very simple. Why should I buy a tablet?
Yeah.
What should I use it for?
Right.
That's the only argument I have. What should I use it for?
Yeah.
What do I use
my phone?
yeah. What do I use my phone for? I ring people, text people, I surf the internet, I play a game maybe. I have some contacts and check my email. Where in any of those does the tablet have merit? Maybe with playing a game.
Or maybe watching a movie, right? A bigger screen than your phone, but when you're traveling.
Yeah. But am I gonna dish out the amount needed to actually get a bigger screen to watch a movie on?
Right.
To me, it's quite simple. I have a pretty old iPhone, an iPhone 7s, right? And if I want the screen to be bigger, I move the phone. So pretty simple. The display and the quality of the image is good enough for me to actually watch it quite close if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, it doesn't really give me much to move up to a tablet. But again, people can do that if they want to.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Yeah. Here's where I threw in the Python, and I put in RPA, but that didn't actually do anything. Let me get rid of that just to simplify it. But Blue Prism and Automation Anywhere. But notice I didn't think it'd take that long. But notice where Python is. Like, actually, I'm surprised it hasn't grown. I know it's a super popular language, right? Compared to everything else, right? Even the RPA terms, right? It is just kicking butt. It's way up there.
Yeah. Again, I think robotic process automation. Again, it's very broad, where all the rest of them are actually specific products, so to speak. Python, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, AutoHotkey. Whereas robotic process automation, that is such a wide term, where here you can actually see who has. Oh, so there really did happen something back in January 17, right?
Yeah.
Almost everybody, and Auto was perhaps the ones losing out on a few.
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Something. which pages was it's counting the Wikipedia pages? Or
I think so. I think it's the visits to the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, so something could have actually happened with Wikipedia back in 2017.
Fair enough. Although they seem to hit at different times.
Yeah, perhaps, but within months of each other, right?
Fair enough.
It's still in early 17, but yeah.
Yeah, in statistics, this is what we might consider if it's what you're describing, is we would put in a step variable, because really this trend is the same as this trend. This map is really annoying with that highlighting. I can't go over it, but it's really the same trend, right? Although this one, obviously, what is that one? The blue prism, appeared out of nowhere, took off. But some of these other ones, it might just be an adjustment step that you adjust, and then that way you can predict better. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, because Blue Prism, of course, the reason it has the first hit on January 17 is, of course, because that's when the Wikipedia page for it is made. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
That's when else should they actually start counting?
Sure.
And maybe back in again, January 17, AutoHotkey might have had new language versions added. Who knows? Again, with looking at something as specific as one domain, why it jumps up there is kind of hard to say, right? But it's still interesting to see that the general overall traffic moved up quite a bit at that time. Yeah.
Cool. Well, okay. Is there anything else we want to talk to about this? I thought it was just kind of an interesting thing to. Hopefully, we'll start seeing more traffic behind any sort of automate. People actually learning it, right? How to use it. I think it's inevitable. It's just a matter of time. But
yeah, I'd say that generally moving that aspect of people understanding that what they do on computers could be automated.
Yeah.
Not because anybody is trying to replace them, but if people actually got better at automating their own tasks,
right,
they wouldn't necessarily be obsolete, but actually become a better resource for their company or themselves or whoever they work for.
Well put, man. That's a wonderful way to describe it, because part of it is we all want raises, we all think we're worth more, but here's something you can actually do to show and demonstrate that your value, right? And besides just get rid of the mundane work, right? That was, I know, part of it. Which actually that's and I have another topic one that we can talk about some other time. But yeah, it's hopefully we'll get there where more and more people will start picking up whatever tool, right? And just automating the job, and then they'll be happier. Their employers are happier, right? It's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, let's wrap it up. Good talking to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay. Great.
Right.
Bye.
Where we go.